week after Bound for Glory. I'll say that the show wasn't bad, but the production value was terrible. I'm going to go through I got to say this right now. I'm doing the production value now before I even get to the content of what the show was. Look, the sound quality was bad. The camera work was bad. JB was botching left, right, and center during the X Division match between Matt Sydal and Sanjay Dutt. He got Sanjay Dutt mixed up with Petey Williams. What is going on here? Even the way it sounded from the commentary team, it sounded like JB was botching left, right, and center. Either he was drinking, or he wasn't feeling well, or he was off. And Josh Matthews had to try and carry this. And there was one point Josh just, like, he wanted to throw his hands up and just say, pretty much, you know what, I'm done. I can't cover for you. It felt like he wanted to say it so bad. He wanted to say, I'm gone. I can't deal with a botchy guy like you. I'm done. And let's make this honest. Jeremy Boyage is supposed to be better than Josh Matthews. Josh is not supposed to be as better than him. And he sounded better than him. And that's saying a lot. But taking away from that, you got the content. Now, another thing I want to get through with, I just want to say it. GWN, Global Wrestling Network. I didn't really say anything about it until I got more information about it. But I want to say this, and I've always said this clearly. Anyone who's ever heard me say X Division for Explosion, knockouts for Explosion. I've always said this. Put the knockouts and the X Division on Explosion. Put it on YouTube. Sponsor it. Let the people know that this is how we want to do the content. We're going to make the knockouts more of a priority. We're going to make the X Division more of a priority. Put them on the other show so they can get all the spotlight they need. Because you can't give it to them on the main show with the main belt, with the Grand Championship, and with the Tag Title Championship. You can't do anything. Put them on the other show so they can get all the spotlight they need. And put it on YouTube. But what do we get? With GFW hemorrhaging money, because it's already been stated that they're doing bad. That's why they're considering going to Canada. And there's nothing wrong with going to Canada. It's actually a smart move. Cost effectiveness. A new crowd to deal with instead of the American Orlando crowd. And I'm going to miss Tank Top Girl. If I have a picture of her, I will put up here, but I don't. I don't have a picture of her anymore. Anyway. Moving there. It'll cut you some costs. It'll save you some money. You'll have new people there. But here's the problem. You got to give people a reason to actually spend $8 for your content that a lot of people know is not good. And a lot of people are going to say, dude, I can go on YouTube and see wrestling programs for free. So this is what I really wish they would understand. If anyone from GFW is here, of course they're not going to change their direction. They've already said it. But if they had really had understanding, this is what I would have done. I would have told them, look, put X Division as the place to be for the, no, not the X Division, Explosion, I'm sorry. Put Explosion as the place to be for the knockouts and for the X Division. Let the main show deal with the tag belts, with the Grand Championship and the main title. Let Explosion deal with the knockouts. And you can do a whole bunch of stuff that you want. Tag teams, triples, quadruples with the X Division there. You can give them the storylines there. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to try and cram it into one show. And you show it on YouTube for a year. Show Explosion on YouTube for a year. Keep Pop. Make sure that the Impact is still paid. You can do all Impact stuff on your app. But I would suggest instead of $7... Near the $8, it's $7.99. Near $8, you reduce it to $3. Drop it down, and after a year, you put the Explosion on also the app, but you make it free. Eventually, you make it content you gotta pay for. And make people want to look at the content. People want to see the knockouts in all their glory. People want to see the X Division in all their glory. But they're not gonna do it if it's $8. And there's almost no content to care about. There's nothing going on with Petey Williams in the X Division. Look what happened with Petey Williams at the beginning of the show. And I'm going right there now. Petey Williams now wants to try and go after the world title. He should have gotten the X Division title. he's always been spotlighted as an X Division guy. Doesn't mean he couldn't go for the heavy title. But after all that craziness, you would hope that you care. But now you're going for that. It kind of upsets me to see that they didn't do a damn thing with Petey Williams, but now they want to do something because now they're in Canada. He should have been cared about when he was in America. Look, I never saw a lot of Petey Williams, but it doesn't mean he isn't a good talent. You can see it. I'm just saying. Next, Allie in BCW. Dealing with, what was it, Casey Spinelli. I think that's her name. The thing that gets me upset is that people are talking about Casey Spinelli going to GFW, that she wants to be a part of GFW. But the problem here is this. You already got rid of a whole bunch of women that you should have shown in the first place. All those women that's supposed to be in developmental, that you showed a little bit of when Brandy Rhodes was there. They should have been shown a couple of times, showing they're trying to get trained. And they didn't do it. And then they got rid of them all. They got rid of MJ Jenkins and a couple of other women, I think. And now it's like, now you're thinking about Casey Spinelli. Will she actually be seen? I doubt it. Of course, this was to try and get Allie over, to give her a win under her belt. And I was fine with it. Allie performed well, so did Casey Spinelli. Admittedly, Casey shouldn't have had so much offense. It should have been more about Allie than Casey Spinelli. But still, you got what you got. And that kind of leads me into the interview with, what was it? I forgot the guy's first name. Hassan Zane. Zane. He had a quick moment with Mackenzie. And what happened to him? Instead of him really being spotlighted, Johnny M throws him out of the way and basically says, I'm after you. I'm coming to get you. And they don't even go back to him generally. They don't let him finish up his interview. They couldn't even bother to let him have his own interview. He had to have a few seconds, and then he's dragged away like he's a nothing. It's kind of like what happened with Casey Spinelli. What is the point of Casey Spinelli if they're not going to care about her? Look at what happened to her. I believe his son, I don't remember what his name. I'm just going to call him Zane. Look what they did to him. Look what they did. They didn't make him special. He's supposed to be from the Global Forge. And they just throw him aside like he's nothing. Now, let's go to a tag match. Well, a 6-man tag. The Jobbers versus OVE. Having, what is the guy's name? Sammy, what is it? I keep forgetting his name. What is it? Callahan, I believe? I think that's his name. He looks okay. He looks interesting. I would like a little segment with him by him talking and the others could be in the back. The Chris brothers can just stay quiet and let him talk. I would like to hear that. But we got a match. It wasn't too bad and OVE won. Then LAX came out and kicked their asses. Well, that was quick. It would have been better that LAX wait a little bit before they try to kick their asses. Like I said before, Conan is destroying LAX. He just is. That's how I feel. Conan should have left LAX with the guys that are there and just hoped that they would make it work and then come back periodically when they're out of sync or something. Anyway, am I interested in seeing next week LAX go up against OVE? Yeah, maybe. It just counts on if the other guys can talk, which I don't think they will. Anyway. We move on to the Wrestling Noah match. What is it called? The Great Honored Championship? I think that's what it's called. I can't remember the exact name. I think it's the Great Honored Championship. GWC title of Wrestling Noah. Going up against Phantasma and Eddie Edwards. Was it a good match? It was. Was it good to see another promotion on there willing to put their own title for the first time out of Japan? Yeah, it was alright. But it would have been better that it had been done at Bound for Glory. Like I said, it was okay on a regular Impact show. But it would have been important if it had been on Bound for Glory where it should have been. Look. Putting another promotion's title on your signature pay-per-view and building it up weeks or maybe months ahead of time would have been special. This was, alright. Then, special. Yes, you get the GHC title from Wrestling Noah on Bound for Glory. How does that sound? Then the GCW, I'm saying GCW, the GHC at Impact. Eddie retains, but it really just felt, didn't feel important. It was alright to see that it was finally done outside of Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah's own promotion. It was actually nice to see it, but it could have been special on Bound for Glory. And I felt like it was a joke when they did that. Even though it was nice, it was a joke. Now, there was no Guido, and there was no Joseph Park. Thank you. And, I think I didn't say this in the beginning, which I should have. When they did the flashback and showing Garza Jr.'s uncle, Garza Sr., I think his uncle or his uncle, I felt two things. One, it was nice to see what Garza Sr. looked like because I never saw him before. And two, it was a waste of about 5 minutes. It was. 5 minutes of a waste of doing something that SmackDown used to do years ago. And that was a waste of time that could have been devoted to promos for the guys, to a match for the guys, to a special skit or segment for the guys down in GFW. I wanted something that was special, not a repeat of something that was back then. What is the app for? Take a guess. What was the app for? Saying you want to show the past. Now, a lot of people are going to say, dude, they're just trying to show what's on the app. Then you could have done 30 seconds of it, not nearly 5 minutes of it. You could have done 10 or 20 seconds and say, this is what you'll get on the app. Look at Garza Sr. This is what you get. Do that within 30 seconds. It could be just as effective than a 4.5 to 5 minute match. What a waste. A waste. Production waste. Not content waste. Production waste of time. That hurt content. Let's see. EC3. Now, I didn't say anything about Sanjay Dutt and Matt Sydal. There's really no reason to say much. It was a good match. Matt Sydal won. But then you saw EC3 come out and basically say, you know, you are really good, but you always choke at the last minute. You're a choke artist when it's important. But you know what you need to end that? Killer instinct. You can have that. Like me. Now, what does that mean? It sounds like he's trying to make a challenge to Matt Sydal, either to join him or to challenge him for the the Grand Championship. That's what it seems like to me. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. You guys can tell me below. But my guess is they're trying to make him build up into a Grand Championship match where Matt Sydal can actually win that damn title from EC3 and they can have a feud. But then it's kind of an empty feud because there's no reason to have them even feud at all. It was kind of random. It was. But at least it could lead into a match going for the Grand Championship. Or maybe Matt Sydal taken under the wing of an EC3, kind of like Rockstar Spud with EC3. I'm about to say Matt Sydal. It just seemed random. But it could lead to something. That's just how I feel. And finally, if I'm forgetting anything else, I'm sorry. The long ass fight. Maybe I might do that. Maybe that might be the title. The long ass fight of Alberto Patron. And I think I pronounced that right for once. I never pronounced AEP's name properly. And Johnny M. Look. Was that a good fight? That went into the street, that went into the back, that went into the ring. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Seeing that wasn't bad, but it was a long fight. You would think maybe about 4 or 5, maybe 8 minutes. That was more than 15 minutes of fight. You got a 15-minute fight in the back. And maybe a 12-minute fight to a 14-minute fight in the back. And in the back part of the arena. And then you got maybe 3 or 4 minutes in the ring. It wasn't bad. It wasn't. But the problem here is, honestly, it didn't need to be that long. You could have devoted more time to more of the talent in GFW. You could have made it about 8 to 10 minute fight. And then the last 2 or 3 minutes could have been in the ring. Fine. Altogether, I think that was 17 or 18 minutes. I could be wrong. You guys tell me below if it was like about between 16 to 18 minutes long. Because it felt almost 20 minutes long. It was like maybe 2 minutes short of 20 minutes. And I felt that was kind of a waste. That was a huge amount of filler. And then you had a commercial to go with it. That was a little too much. To try and say that Johnny M has Alberto Patron's title and he wants it back because he's been screwed. Which he was. So you could say El Patron is a good guy and Johnny M is a bad guy here. You can. El Patron is angry. He's trying to, he wants justice. You can say that. But you had to drag that damn thing out for so long. Oh my gosh, it was too long. Now, I'm sure a lot of people say it was great. I'm seeing it from a point of view of time. You only have a 2.5, you don't even have a 2.5 hour show here. You got an hour and a half counting commercials. And it feels like they lost a lot of time. One, showing 5 minutes of a 2004 clip where they could only show 30 seconds. Then a fight that lasted almost 20 minutes that could have been cut down to maybe 8 to 10 minutes. And you could have devoted that for more backstage segments. Zane from Global Forge could have actually had a real... He could have had a real... I'm just saying... People could have had interviews. They could have had backstage segments. They could have had funny skits. You could have more with Eli Drake. I just felt they didn't budget their time properly. But was the content okay? To a general sense, yeah, it wasn't bad. But this is my point of view. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night.